Thank you for taking the time today to attend our Unilog webinar. My name is Brittany Herman. I'm a marketing specialist here at Aktion Associates, and I'll be moderating today's event. This webinar is designed to learn more about Unilog and see a live demo and how this can drive efficiency with your B2B e-commerce. We want you to use this as an opportunity to ask questions, so please feel free to use the Q&A feature during this event, and we will have time to answer them at the end of the event. If a longer response would be needed, we would be able to follow up after the event as well. All attendee audio is going to be muted today to provide the best user experience possible, so you will need to use the Q&A feature to ask a question. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be sent to you shortly after the webinar ends. So let me introduce you to our speaker today. We are joined by Scott Alabozek. Scott is a senior application consultant here at Aktion with a large background in project management and IT leadership. So on the agenda today for our webinar, we're going to go over Unilog, look at the efficient e-commerce platform, go through a demonstration of the customer portal. Scott will go through a demo, and at the end, we will have those questions. Before we jump into today's topic today, I want to give you a little bit more about who Aktion is. We are more than 220 employees with more than 6,500 customers. We are a national ERP software reseller with IT infrastructure provider focused on the architectural engineering and construction, real estate, distribution, and manufacturing industries. We have 2 company data centers, one located where I am in Toledo, Ohio, and the other in Charlotte, North Carolina. Aktion is number 16 on the top 100 VARs list, along with being a top workplace in 2023. In the top corner there, you can see some more recognitions we have received, and more importantly, especially with today talking about Unilog, we do have a long-running partnership with Infor, being a gold partner. At this time, I will pass it over to Scott for his presentation about Unilog.
Yes, hello, thank you, welcome. So just a quick overview of Unilog. We have a partnership with Unilog. It's a reseller agreement for their B2B e-commerce solution. And just a little about Unilog. They have about 600 employees. The corporate office is based in Wayne, Pennsylvania. They have about 400 B2B e-customers and 500 content subscribers. They do both website development, and they also do content enrichment. So let me move on. So a little bit about the efficient platform. So we got only 30 minutes today, so it's going to be kind of high level, but I wanted to take a dive around and show you about the product information management, which is called the PIM. The content management system, CMS, is where you manage the application, the e-commerce site, the business application integrations, and some of the e-commerce features that come along with that. So first off, the PIM, right? So PIM is really where your data gets housed. It establishes and houses product data. The content, it's really the single source of truth. It's going to pull data from your ERP, or most companies that, because they don't have a PIM, will utilize this PIM to store their data. It provides governorship over this. It provides reliable data, and it saves time and resources with its automated processes, validations, and conversions. The PIM also provides a consistent omni-channel user experience. It builds and maintains product catalogs that can be customer specific. So if you have different sets of customers, you can actually segregate them by a underlying catalog to that specific customer. Moving on. So the next area is CMS, and that's Content Management System. This is a Unilog application that comes standard with the subscription, and it allows you, the user, to maintain the website. So you can landing pages, banners, events, online forums, blogs. You can create, manage, maintain your website without having to go to a third party. You're taught this CMS system that comes with it, and you're really able to expand your e-commerce capabilities and some of the SEO data that comes with it. Business application integrations, really this comes down to your ERP, right? So there are active integrations with Unilog on CSD, fax, SXE, A+. We utilize open APIs. We didn't list one up there above, but we also have Acumatica. Open API ecosystem, we utilize the Infor standards to retrieve that data. And again, the ERP is always the system of record. And it provides real-time customer-specific data. So pricing, historical transactions, price and availability, open orders, all the critical data that's in your ERP system can be pushed out to the web for a user-friendly interface for a customer to go and do some of that stuff themselves, right? So if they're looking for price, they're looking for availability, where their orders are, they can do this all through the web application. So some of the B2B functionality, very robust search capabilities. They use a search engine called Solar, S-O-L-R. They also have some neat tools, sales rep assisted buying. So the sales rep can log in as the customer and place orders for them. We allow multiple buying levels, which means different levels within the application can do different things. And they can also set it for approvals. Quick order paths, a real easy way for multiple line orders to be downloaded, built into a cart and extracted. Customer specific part numbers, right? You can do it on the fly. We can pull that information from the ERP system, really driven to how the customer may find his parts. My product groups, you might also know these as favorites, just ways that the user can identify products that may be bought each time and can put those into groups. Promoted products by individual buyers, so they can push this out to specific companies if they're doing some sort of an internal promotion. So when they log into the system, they see that, hey, there's a promotion out there for me. And then there's RFQs. There's a form in here that create RFQs to be driven down. Really, and then the site itself, it's intuitive. Like I said, ERP, the system integration is very deep. There's a mobile experience, so it comes responsive out of box. So you don't have to get an app. Obviously, you can get one if you want. It's really driven by SEO, right? So it wants to drive the way that the pages are set up and the formats of them drive your SEO up to the top. And it allows you to control the user experience. So moving on. So just a couple sites that we've done, Unilog's done, Infor Fax, A+, CSD. So now I'm going to jump into the demo area. So let me share my screen. And Brittany, are we seeing the website?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, so this is the user's interface, and I'm logged in right now as a user. As part of the setup, you'll determine what that path is when a user comes in, whether they're a guest or they're a known user. But when I come in, some of the neat features that we have are really centered around this little drop-down menu right here. This allows them to manage a lot of things, see what's happening with orders for them, and place orders directly from here. So if I just go into the My Account setting, it's going to take me into that application of who I am. Very quickly, I can see open orders that I have. Again, order history, and this is not only the web orders. This is orders coming from your ERP system. So if you have counter sales, this information can be passed from the ERP. Recently ordered items. The My Product Groups, again, this is the favorites I talked about. So if I go in here and look at this, as I was shopping, I identified this as a favorite. I put it into that bucket. Saved carts. Again, as they're shopping, you can save a cart. You come back to it at a later time. Promoted products, what I talked about earlier. So as the customer, or as the owner, you can push these out to individual customers. It's just a back-end feature that allows you to do promotions. So when I log in as the end customer, I see, hey, I've got promotions out there. I log in here and there'll be just this promotion, right? There's a date created, and I created this a while ago, but I can see any promotions that are coming to me. So let's move on to the next area. And then you got address, right? You can change your shipping address. Billing address is locked down. That would have to go through the company to get that changed. But you can see your billing and shipping addresses. So look at some of the other features that are in here. So request a quote. So this is just a nice form. And if you know your part number that you're looking for and you start to type, the search engine's going to start to look for you, right? It's a very intuitive until it finds its part. I add the part, I add in the unit of measure, and I could send this down for a quote, right? But I'm going to add a second line, and you can also just freeform, right? If I don't know what that is, and it's this, and it's a yellow tube, and it's an each, right? So it'll take that. And I can save that, I can add rows, or I can just submit this quote. So if I submit this quote, it's going to go to a path, usually an email address that designated that somebody can work that quote. But again, the relationship is with your database, so it's going to try to find a part. So someone knows their part number or customer part number, it will start to look for that. Or even if they start to type into item description, it will look for those parts and bring it up. The next quick order pad is a highly used, very efficient way for companies that have really for multiple lines and know what they're buying. So in here, again, if I start to type, it is interactive again, right? So I'll bring up that same part number again, 073363, right? And I'm going to quantity of 1. But if I don't know, if this is not where you can just put in anything. You have to have a keyword, some match to it, because it's going to add it to the cart. So if I go ahead, I've got this added, I can add this to the cart. If I had an exception, it's going to come back and tell me what it is, right? So I've got an exception with this item, right? Could be that it's out of quantity. The reason why it's an exception is it says call for price. But very easily, you can download this as a file and create a cart and submit that in for processing. The next area is a approval cart list. So I don't have any out there, but the hierarchy is if you're a super user, you can have folks under you as general users, and they can create carts, but you don't want them to check out. They can pass that on to the super user, who then will review their order and say, okay, I'm going to accept this, and then move on to pay by purchase order or pay by credit card. The next area is configure procurement system. I won't open up this one, but this is just an interesting integration that we can do with a lot of larger companies called Punchout. So if that name rings a bell to you, you can talk to us about that and what it does. But essentially, it allows us them to use their purchasing system and our website in one, and then it comes back into that company's purchasing system to create a purchase order. So it's a really neat feature. And then user management. This is the way to manage people that would be in your company. So if I'm a user of the website and I've got multiple users, I can see what roles they have and what they can do. And if someone leaves my company, I can very easily disable them within seconds so that they couldn't do something bad as they left the company. Okay, so I'm going to jump over to the site. So just quickly, I'll navigate around a little bit here, and we'll bring up a part. Start to look at the search engine. As you see, as I start to type up here, that search engine wants to find something, right? So it's going to find a hit, and I got an exact hit because I knew that part number. And now you can see I bring up that part number. And you have a product description, you got specifications, you got features, you've got documentation. And it will tell me the quantity orders. It'll tell me if I had any availability. It'll tell me the price. So let's just go into another here. We'll get something with some price on it. So you can see I see my price. I've got a minimum quantity. I see the availability is 345. And you can see I added a customer part number here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. You can see that part number has gone away. And that's really neat for a customer because this will stay until you remove it. So I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, test, and I'm going to add that. You can see that stays there. So every time I log in, because again, it knows who I am, it's going to associate this part with that customer part number. And that information will stay with the order throughout. So let's go ahead and just do a real quick checkout. And you can see I've got some parts out here, and I'm going to go ahead and check out. And each user's checkout process will be a little bit different than others. This is just the way that this one's set up right now, but that's part of the implementation process. And I've forced this and required date, and I could add any comments if I wanted. Now I can check out by purchase order, by credit card. We're not integrated to a credit card in this test environment, so purchase order. And I'm going to place the order. And you can see very quickly, I'm going to get a confirmation on my screen saying thank you for the order. That email's also been out. Now this order has been moved into the ERP system. And if I go back over and look at open orders, I will see this order right here that I just created. And that's now it's in the ERP system being processed. It's also on the website for visibility purposes. So I'm going to jump out of the website now to show you some of the back-end stuff. So along with the website comes what's called the portal. And the portal is really where you manage the website. So the first area, we talked about the PIM, that's where the data lives. The CMS, that's where you manage the website. The site manager is where you would manage your customers. Site search is very much that. It's where you're managing the search. Site builder is really about a more developer tool if you're going to dive in and do some more development on the website. Analytics, reports come out of box. There's also some add-ons like a pro analytics feature that they call, that you can follow users. You can get heat maps as to where people are driving in your website. You can get drop cart information. Very powerful analytics tools. Merchandising is more about like coupons. Administration is who has access to the portal. And then punch out, as I talked about, that's the setup of the direct relationship with the customer. But for right now, I'm just going to jump in quickly and just give you an idea what the PIM looks like. So you can see right now, it gives you a little dashboard. In this test environment, we've got 92,000 items, which made up of 881 manufacturers, and we got 97 users on it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the items. And, you know what I'm going to do? I could search it here, but I'm going to bring up that part that I've been using, 073363. So you can see the data that was out there. So it brings up that part. You can see that's there. As I dive into this, this is where the PIM really becomes a focus because of the amount of information you can store, right? So the manufacturer, the part number, the brand, UPC, as you start to dive down. Now, price and availability is going to come directly from your ERP system, but you could override that and put pricing in here as well. But you know, with the integration, really let the ERP be the source of truth. But this is where the descriptions live: short description, long description, item features. If there's a market description that they wanted to use, there's a space for that. This is where product information is going to live. Keywords, obviously there's some that are auto-generated based on all the information that are in there. You can also go in and type in custom keywords. So if there's some terminology that's used you want to put there, you can add that. And anytime somebody searched, they'd find that. Documents that come with it, images that come with it, videos. If you wanted to add videos, you can add them here. You can do linked items. So, you know, when I buy this, I also bought this and this and this. Attribute information. All the information about those products are stored inside the PIM. And if you do a deeper dive demo with us, we can really dive in and show you where this stuff lives and how it gets in here and what the relationship with the ERP system is. So I'm going to go back over to here and just quickly show you the CMS. So again, a lot of folks have an e-commerce site and they may have it outsourced to a third party. With this tool, you can really do it yourself. So I'll just really quickly dive in and we'll go look at the home page. So the home page lives out here. I can see the one that's active by this little symbol. And part of the implementation is we train you how to do this CMS stuff. You don't have to be a developer. You have access to source code if you needed to, but you don't need to do that. So if I go in and edit this, I can bring up these different banners, right? You can see them. And it's really quickly just drag and drop, right? So I drag that in there. And I see that I got a test banner out there now, and I'll go ahead and update my banner list. Okay. And then I'm going to save this page. And now if I go back over here to the website, you'll see that that banner is out there. Now, I didn't do a whole lot of work, so I didn't make it positioned pretty like all the other ones, but you can see that quickly that banner can be pushed out there. And it's the same for many of the facets inside CMS. There's things that you can do, like you can create events happening on your website. So again, it's very easy application to use. You don't need to be a developer. You can go in it. It allows you to manage your website. And the better you get at it, you can really build out your website to the way you want it. So you can add widgets to it. You can add featured items. You can take away items. You can add, different types of forms that you want to build. If you want to build out, interaction with the customers, all done through the CMS tool, and you're taught how to do it. What are we doing for time? 2:21. So I'm going to stop there. Obviously, there's a lot more that we could go into, but given the time we have today, I'd wanted to open it up to see if there was any questions. You have any questions out there, Brittany?
And Scott, I will say I can still see your screen. So if you would just want to click stop sharing real quick, and we'll be good to go.
All right.
Awesome. It does look like there are a few questions in there, so I will get those up to the slide area. And at the same time, I will tell everyone that is in attendance today, on your end, there is the related content area, which any of the content out there, like the PowerPoint, the brochure, or even going to the website, anything like that that you would want to take home or even look at further, that's why we put it there, and you're more than welcome to interact with that as well. So let me get some of these questions up to the slide area. All right, it says, is this being recorded? I can take this one real quick, Scott. Yes, everyone in attendance today is getting a link to the recording shortly after the webinar ends, so you can rewatch it if you would like to. All right, there is one more question in here. Just asking if a salesperson can use this to place orders for his customer.
Yes, he can. There's a salesperson. One of the roles is a salesperson, and essentially what they can do is they log in as the customer, and they can place orders on their behalf. So if they're doing a sales call and they sit down with them, they can log in and it would act just as that customer and place the orders for them. And the salesperson can have multiple companies, obviously.
Sweet. I do see one more question. I'll push that to the slide area. What is the average implementation time frame?
Implementation always tricky, but I'll say without any customization, meaning that you're just taking the website out of box, and you're with an ERP system that we have a known integration with, you can be up and live in 4 to 6 months. And then the other facet that would come into play there is around data. So if you've got good, clean data and you're ready to have that imported, and you've got images with it, and you've got descriptions that are web friendly, that data can be imported directly. If you're going down the path of getting your data enriched, or it needs to be cleansed, obviously that can extend it. But typically, if again, out of the box and no customization, with an ERP integration, 4 to 6 months, you can have the website up.
Perfect. I know we are around the 25-minute mark, but I don't see any other questions coming in. So we'll just go ahead. I want to say thank you to everyone that was in attendance today. As you can see on the slide, I have Scott's contact and my contact if you would have any questions. You're more than welcome to reach out, or you can reach out to your account rep as well. We would be more than welcome to help you with anything further that you would want to have questions about, or even your interest. I'll throw it over to Scott and see if there's any final words he wants to say.
No, just to reiterate, if you're interested, obviously we just touched the surface. There's a lot of areas inside the website that can drive efficiencies. from both sides, right? So it may allow, your customer service person to not be fielding questions about availability or where products are or what the price is. It allows the customer really self-checkout to go look at that stuff, look at the price, look at the availability, and place the order. And again, on the back end of the portal, there's many areas in there that can help drive efficiency for your organization and also for your end customers. So, please, if you're interested, schedule a demo with our team, and we can take you much deeper.
Awesome. I want to thank everyone again just for coming, and I want to say thank you to Scott for joining me today. And with that, I'll tell everyone, I hope you all have a great day today.
Thank you.